What's up, you fools? Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel. Time for another ESC United expert panel. And we are talking about the Eurovision 2020 songs. And which one is up next? Let's find out. First, here's the team. There's Holly, there's Connor, and there's Gabe. The four of us will talk about Russia. The Russian song was one of the last one, if not the last one. It was the last one actually to be released. And we waited for a long time. Question is, was it worth it? The name of the band we knew a little bit earlier was Little Big, and they are huge in Russia. They have a very unique sound, to say the least. Ultimately, they decided to pick the song Uno. I'm sure they're hoping to get more than Uno points from our panel. Let's find out where we're going to end up. First up, Gabe. What are your thoughts?
So the first thing is, I think it's really... So I think Russia have absolutely smashed it this year. I think Little Big was a really good fit for Eurovision. You know, the video, it's very much sort of Little Big, their formula that they follow. So you've got a catchy song, you know, a sort of memorable comedy-style music video. It's a brilliant song. It's really, really catchy. It's stuck in my head now. Now I'm thinking about it, and it's one of my favourite songs this year. This would have done so well and could have been a televote winner because they have so many fans all over Europe, and I think people really would have bought into it. You know, in terms of the silly Eurovision stereotype, I guess, they really personify it, but in a way that I think would have really resonated with people well. So I think it's a real shame we're not going to see them. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I think that when they decided to send Little Big, they knew what they were into. They are love it or hate it. I don't think this is the kind of song that has a whole lot of middle ground. I'm sure there are a few, but for the most part, people either get it or they just don't. I mean, Gabe, you made it. I think you made a point about the lyrics. It will definitely rub the lyric snobs a little bit the wrong way, you know. Un, dos, tres, cuatro, uno. I mean, come on. But you have what I realized with that kind of style of music, you have to kind of tune out like that portion because it's more of like an extension, like another instrument. It's not really there for the message. It's almost more like another layer of sound, like an instrument that you play. And I think that is what it comes down to. So don't pay attention to the words. I get that. It usually goes against everything I say, but this is a different animal here, I think. I'm absolutely fascinated by the song. Absolutely fascinated. And taking a risk like this can pay off, or you can really crash and burn at Eurovision. But I do love it when countries take a risk. And yes, they may be huge in Russia. Huge following. Like any video that is about Little Big gets a lot of views just by default. But that doesn't always translate, especially in the Eurovision world, to success. And so that alone is not enough. But I do think that the juries would not go for this, but this could go big in the televote, and I think, Gabe, you nail it when you say this has a potential televote winner written all over it. And because even though some people will hate it, especially it gives that Eurovision reputation, I think you cannot vote against a song, you can only vote for a song. So I think that would absolutely work in its favor. It gives me not the same style, but it's just a kind of banger that could be like Lansing Dasha Tumbai, that seems like a silly song but became such a Eurovision classic. I could see something similar here. I'm a fan. I love it. How about you, Holly?
I think you're right in saying that it's polarizing. I just can't work out which end of the spectrum I fall on yet. Like it's an assault on the senses, and I don't know if that's a good thing. I feel like after the first minute, it's outstayed its welcome, but by 2 minutes in, I'm dancing to it. Like, if it was released anywhere else, if I'd heard it on the radio, I think I'd hate it with everything that I have, but I know that if I was at Eurovision parties or at Euroclub, I would be bopping along like mad, like in the middle of the dance floor. I understand the shtick of the whole thing. I think I'd like it more if their voices weren't so grating, but I get that that's kind of the style, and it reminds me a little bit of like Aqua, like Barbie Girl kind of.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really enjoy the instrumentation of it. Yeah, I think I don't like it, but I acknowledge that it works, and it's stuck in my head as well. I'm just confused. I don't
think
know.
You're the only one.
Yeah.
I think that is probably a common occurrence across the continent. How about you, Connor?
So you want to know, my favorite thing about this song is the joke that's in the lyrics. Someone on Twitter pointed out that the reason why they skip and they go uno, dos, cuatro is because Sergey took the trace. which absolutely killed me when I heard that. Because in case you didn't know, Sergei Lazarev took third place twice at Eurovision. So that is the only logical reason as to why they go 1, 2, 4 and not 1, 2, 3. But this song reminds me a lot of Germany's Genghis Khan in 1979. That it's a very nonsensical song, lots of just dancing and just like pure. It's not supposed to be a song that is to be taken seriously. It's like what Gabe said. It's there for the entertainment. It's the entertainment factor is the big pull there. And I think that this would be a song that would be popular. Number one, because it's from Russia. Number two, it's Russian pop. And number three, did I mention that it's from Russia? So I think regardless, it was going to be a popular song. I don't think that it would have won the televote like Gabe had mentioned, but I think that it would be really high up there. I also love how they managed to go viral with their very popular leg wiggle and little hand turn, which is really difficult, I think, to do for Eurovision because a lot of people don't consider Eurovision to be mainstream. So when a song makes it and goes big, similar to Dadi Freyr in Iceland, like that's big news. So I think that they were a force to be reckoned with, potentially still could be. But I think that they were really able to create a balance between their musical genre and what they do as a band, and create it into a Eurovision song that is very in your face, but also subdued at the same time. Because if you watch their music videos, they're a little wacky.
Yes.
But in comparison to this, it's very like, I don't know. I think it's very accessible, which is for them really weird.
Gotcha.
To say those two words together for little big, but I like it, so that's what matters.
That is what matters. What matters even more, at least for right now, are the scores. Let's see some interesting comments so far. How does it translate into points? We go 1 through 1, and Gabe, you're first. What's your score for Uno?
So I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. I like I said, I love it. It's really catchy. I think, to be fair, I think it's a bit harsh to do. Like this would, in my opinion, this would be a televote winner potential from any country. So I think it's a bit harsh to suggest. Obviously, being from Russia gives it a nominal boost in Eastern European countries, but it's not going to be the difference between, I don't know, first and 20th. I think that it is the sort of thing that sort of taps into partly thanks to the nonsensical nature of the lyrics. It taps into a sort of pretty basic, universal kind of feeling of fun, which translates really well at Eurovision when it's done properly. And also, it is worth noting that the two vocalists, they've sung this song live. They sound exactly like they do on the record. They are, they are unconventional, but they're really, really good. So I think they shouldn't be underestimated as musicians either, even though they use their craft in an interesting fashion.
No, that's very interesting, and I think I can only echo everything you just said, and I don't think I have anything to add. My score is a similar approach, except I gave it an extra half point. I gave it a 9 overall. I think it deserves it. I know Holly has it, because initially when I first listened to it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to hate this or love it. To be fair, I had a similar feel with Netta Toy a couple of years ago, and I just loved it. And it's a similar outcome here with Russia. I fortunately ended up on the love side, but I get it if people end up on the other spectrum there. But that's why I got to give it 9 points. Holly.
This is, I think, the only song this year that I can't decide where I sit on. And it's the only song for a long time of watching Eurovision that I still can't decide where I sit on, even when I keep listening to it. And I think the only fair thing to do is then to put it in the middle. So I've given it a 5.
Okay. Right there. Smack down in the middle. 5
Right
points
in the middle.
from Holly. Connor?
So I absolutely love this song, and it's what I've noticed is this is one of the songs, like when I'm trying to spread the good message of Eurovision in America, This is one of the songs that I've turned to as like a look at what Eurovision could be if you would watch with me. Just because I think that it fulfills, like I said, that niche of a wacky entry that's nonsensical and isn't supposed to be taken seriously, but everyone I think can latch onto a little bit. I did mention that I don't think that this would be a televote winner because I don't think that the grannies of Eurovision would think that this would be their top song, but it is mine, so I gave it a perfect 10. I think that this is one of the best songs that Russia has sent since Polina in 2015. I can't find anything wrong with it, with the exception of there are just some really strange things happening in the lyrics if you look at them. That is the only thing, but it's not like, ooh, weird. It's just like, what are they trying to say here? But
yeah.
Great score from me.
Yeah, nothing to complain about, but these are 4 scores on. We have plenty of more people on the ESC United team, so let's find out what the official score that Team ESC United is going to give to Russia. No clue, huh? Let's find out.
I'm nervous about this one.
It could go either way, right? It could be... Anyway, I'm telling you right now, so no need to wait any longer. It is... I'm kidding.
You're killing
okay,
me.
just go. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to make you wait a little longer. The score for Russia is 7.73. I see a lot of Connor, your thoughts as like the biggest supporter based on your score at least?
I mean, I have a feeling that I probably pulled this up a little bit because I have a feeling that this probably was, I mean, not like I significantly pulled this up, but probably just like, 0.1 or like maybe 0.12. Because I can see a lot of people on our team maybe rating this at around a 7 or an 8. So I can see it being pulled up. But no, it doesn't surprise me because like what Gabe said, I think that this is a great song. I think this is accessible. And I think that this is one that especially individuals that are around our age brackets would really find to be enjoyable at Eurovision in comparison to some of the other slower ballads that we have in the contest this year.
Definitely a party banger for better or worse. I think, 7.73 is a good score. This is a really good score, actually. Anything over 7, I think you should be really excited about. And this is close, even way higher than that. I think this is a respectable score. I don't remember by heart how people have voted, but I think, as I pointed out earlier, it is just a very polarizing entry. And I think more people, fortunately, gravitate towards the love bucket than the hate bucket, but I think it's just a lot of people giving it lower scores probably drags it down a little, because I think this could have been an 8 if it wasn't for like the few people who just don't get it. But I'm not 100% sure, but I just, even looking at like the overall comments across the community, I think that sounds about where it's at. Any thoughts from you, Gabe?
This is roughly what I expected, just from the fact that there will be people who love this, like I think a lot of us do. There are going to be people who are going to give it a 1 or a 2. Yeah. And, a single 1 drags a song down so much that it doesn't take that many people to really hate it. And I understand, because it's the sort of thing that is very much like a Marmite kind of, a lot of people are really just not going to like it at all kind of entry. Mm-hmm. So I would say it's roughly where I expected it to be. Maybe a little bit higher, I would have hoped for.
Okay. But again, nothing to complain about. 7.73 is a good result. Is it enough to win? Is it enough to be in the top 10? Only one way to find out. For now, let's take a look at the current scoreboard. This is where Russia falls. And now it's your turn, my friends, to share your thoughts on the Russian entry. You think it's a good score? Should it be higher? Should it be lower? I would love to hear from you. We got to move on to the next video. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Good, whatever. I got to go. Bye.